Welcome to the gateway page for the MIQLAT network. This is exciting. This network map will enable you to find and contact people geographically close to you who are also interested in my content, books, podcasts, and videos, all sorts of things. You wound up on this landing page in one of two ways. You either got the introductory email via MailChimp when the network was born, or you clicked on the link at the bottom of one of the newsletters. Either way, clicking on that link is the way you become part of the network. That brings me to three things you need to realize up front before I show you how to use this. First, the only way you can participate in and use this network is to subscribe to the MIQLAT newsletter. The network is built from data stored in MailChimp, the service we use to create the newsletter. If you have not yet subscribed to my newsletter, click on the link on this landing page to subscribe. Second, the MIQLAT network is not a social meetup site or a forum. It's not for chatting and conversations. It exists for one purpose: to enable you to find people close to you who share your same interest in my content. Once you find people, it is up to you to contact them to exchange email addresses, perhaps meet up, or maybe even form a Bible study group. Third, the network as it stands now is a minimal viable product. That is, it's just a starting point. We will be adding nuances and features as time goes on, mostly based on user feedback. So let's get to using it. Using the MIQLAT network is simple. The first thing you notice is a world map with various colored circles and a few blue pins. Here's one, and over here's one. The circles have numbers in them. The circles represent clusters of people who are fellow MIQLAT newsletter subscribers, people who have strong interest in my content. The colors vary by how many people are represented in the cluster. The blue pins represent a single person. Right now there's one person in Russia who subscribes to the newsletter and a couple on island countries here and over here. Hopefully more people in those places will subscribe and use the network in the future. Let's start with going right to your zip code. To do that, you need to use one of the navigation buttons on the left, the one at the bottom. So let's do that. Clicking on that takes you to your geographic zip code area. In this example, it takes us to a test site. I guess the developers didn't want me to show the world exactly where I live. When you hit that button, the one that we just hit, you'll be taken right to your zip code if it's you doing it. The network map knows that because you clicked on the link as a newsletter subscriber. So when you subscribe, that information is stored so that when you get to the map, the landing page, and click on this button right here, it knows where you are at. To go back to the landing page, you click on the icon second from the bottom, this one right here that looks like a folded map. Now, you can, of course, use the plus and the minus buttons to move in any direction. Okay? You can do that if you like, to drill down or expand up. You can also drill down and move out using the circles themselves. Let's click first on one of the red circles, the one in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, my neck of the woods, right there. You'll notice the map drills down geographically, and that produces a bunch of other circles. Let's move this up a little bit. In this case, we have yellow and green circles, again with numbers in them. Remember, the colors are what they are based on the numerical counts. Clicking on any one of the circles gets the map to drill down again. Let's click on the one near Seattle. There, if you could make it out, we see the word Seattle. We click on that one, and you drill down. Now you can repeat this process until you get to specific individuals, which are, again, the blue pins. So these are specific individuals right out here. If you lived in Seattle, let's just click on it again and center it a little bit. Again, if you lived in Seattle, you can visually see that within what's probably 10, 15 miles, something like this right here, you have a couple dozen people who are newsletter subscribers and share your interest in my content. You can also use the scrolling wheel on your mouse to zoom in and out, presuming your mouse has one. Now you can't see me do this, but I'm going to do that. So I'm scrolling my mouse right now, and you can go either direction. To contact people, again, you would just click on a blue pin, and we'll do that in a second. I want to show you something else first. Let's go back to your home area. Again, your zip code. That's the bottom button right here. Again, the test site in this case. Again, the map assumes you know the area where you live. So when you land on your zip code area, the map, of course, is going to assume that you're familiar with that area just by virtue of living there. Any blue pin you see is a single person who subscribes to the newsletter. Again, the test area that they gave me here is pretty remote. I mean, we don't see many people there. Now let's contact one of these people. I'm going to pick the bottom one, and I'll click on the blue pin. Now we need to talk about what's in this box a little bit. You'll notice that when we do this, we learn the person's first name. This example is Michael T. So first name and last initial, and of course the zip code. And then we get this little note about within 25 miles. That's it. There's no visible email address. The only way anyone using this network is going to learn someone else's email address is if you fill in the box and message the person. I'll show you in a little bit what that message will look like. Okay, we don't provide that information on the network. You have to initiate contact to reveal any information, and it's only going to be your email address about yourself. Now I'm going to write a brief note to this person, Michael T in this case, but the message is also going to go to anybody within 25 miles. Now we haven't expanded out far enough to know if that's going to catch anybody else. But you need to know that when you're sending a message, it isn't going to go to just Michael T. It's going to go to people, again, within a certain radius. You're just picking Michael T, in this example, to send the message. But it might cast a wider net. So I'm going to send this message and tailor it to more individuals than just Michael T. Now I actually have a copied message on my clipboard, so I'm just going to paste this in here. Hey everyone, I see you live near me and we both subscribe to the MIQLAT newsletter. Again, I don't know if it's going to catch anybody else other than Michael T, so I use the word both. If you like, we can exchange email addresses and maybe meet up. Now, you're going to be required, before you send this, to check this box right here. I understand that people that I do not know will receive an email that includes my name and email. That's all they're going to get. And again, you initiated that. I agree to not engage in sales or solicitations other than to connect to discuss content related to this site. So it's a pretty self-explanatory set of instructions there. Also notice that you're limited in the number of messages you can send in one day. Now the default is 3. So again, this is not a social media network. It is not a forum. The MIQLAT network is only about letting you find fellowship or find somebody with common interest. That's all that it's supposed to do. Now I'm going to click send, and if we get that little box right there, in introductions sent, we know that it worked. So we'll just click OK. Now what's happening is my email address is going to get this message. So let's take a look at what the message actually looks like. Right here it is. We're in my email box. It's going to come as a no reply. It says Greg A. MIQLAT Network Introduction. So let's click on that. And here's what the email, the messaging, will look like. It says, Michael, you requested to be contacted when others in your area wanted to connect to discuss MIQLAT and related contact. Now it's addressed to me, even though Greg A. in our sample sent this. And you might say, well, when did I, request to be contacted? Like, when did I give this permission? Well, the answer is when you joined the network. Okay, by joining the network, that is a tacit permission that people might contact you. And it says, Greg, all about, again, it's a contrived last name, has reached out to you with the following, and here's the message that I pasted in. Hey, everybody, so on and so forth. Now, the information you get is you can reach Greg at, and now here is his email address. So the only way that you're going to learn someone else's email address, again, is if you initiate the contact. Now, down here it says, if you no longer want these emails, you can unsubscribe here, and you would click on that link. Now, catch the note here. Clicking on this unsubscribe link means you will no longer be part of the MIQLAT network. However, you will still be subscribed to the MIQLAT newsletter. So don't be afraid that if I don't want to use the network, and I don't want to get messages or send it. I don't want to contact anybody, so I'm going to unsubscribe from it. But oh, will that unsubscribe me from the newsletter itself? No, it won't. However, since being a newsletter subscriber is the only way to get this chance to use the network, if you unsubscribe from the newsletter, by default, you will not be able to access the MIQLAT network here. But if you click this link right inside here to unsubscribe from the network itself, you will still be receiving newsletters. What follows is the same disclaimer language. It says, next, please contact us with your successful connections, how you found this encouraging, and with your recommendations. So this is the place right here that if you want to give us feedback, maybe a suggestion, you know, hey, can you make it do this? Can you make it do that? This is the place to do that. And then signed, sincerely, the MIQLAT team. Now there's another disclaimer down here. Again, this is important for legal stuff because MIQLAT is a nonprofit. MIQLAT, its partners, affiliates, and service providers make no claim of fitness, safety, reliability, etc. for any particular purpose. By use of the MIQLAT network and or contacting any person introduced you via the network, you agree to take full responsibility and should not hold the aforementioned parties liable for any claim, harm, damages, etc. arising in any form. It's standard legalese. Again, we need to have that there because we're a nonprofit. But there you go. This is how you get into contact with someone else who is interested in my content, the podcast, the websites, whatever, speaking. What we're trying to do is link people with common interests. So it's as simple as that. Once you, again, either by getting the initial launch email, if you're already a newsletter subscriber, or if you accessed that link, you know, sometime after subscribing, after we created this network, once you click on that link, however you get it, you are going to be part of the network. All of that works under the hood, and it's just up to you to use it. You don't have to use it at all. It's entirely voluntary. But when you do use it, again, you've seen how the network map works, how to find individual persons or send messages, again, within a certain radius, and here, again, what the messaging will look like. So thanks for watching this. Again, this is a initial launch. Please send us suggestions, and again, hopefully you'll be able to connect with people and really enjoy that fellowship.